Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Tai Chi. This session is going to focus on the internal work that I paid attention to during the 8-week session that I just finished. So this is a continuation, if you will, of that. This is kind of the commentary. The next here's what's next. Here's some additional information. So in all of that presentation, I focused a lot on what to do and how to do it. In this session, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to why. And not only why, but a little bit more about some about what we're doing. So, applications. Put the coffee down. Alright, so I am going to have to mention, because you're going to see it, I'm having trouble with my elbow over here. I think it's tennis elbow, even though I haven't been playing tennis. I think it's from me sitting with my arms like this in front of the machine and typing. So I mentioned I'm working on a story. I've been working. It's sit in the chair, do the work. That's what you had. That's the only way it gets written. So I'm going to have to change my position a little bit, and I've got a wrap on my elbow, so it's a little, it's not comfortable. So I'm going to use my right hand a lot more today. Left hand is probably going to be here and or there or over here someplace. All right, we're going to start with our stretches. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Tip of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. Drop the tailbone. Bend the knees. Open the lower back. When you bend the knees and drop the tailbone, you should feel this little space open up in your lower back. We want that. We want to use that. Keep it open. Hand circle to the front. Back around to both sides. Up along center line. Oh, it is going to go there. Oh, great. It wasn't going there earlier. Thank you. It's good to have it wrapped. And come on up. Fingertips up. Reach out. And one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. In this last stretch, one of the things, and I've got to talk about some of this because you can't see it. All right? You may be able to see it after I talk about it. One of the things that I called out in the very last set, 1, 2, 3, number 3, was the breathing. If your breathing is different, right? You end up with not the same character, not the same ability to transfer your breath through the movement. You can't transfer your breath through the movement. You can't transfer your chi through the movement. If you can't transfer your chi through the movement, you can't transfer your energy, your jing, through the movement. It builds. So part of that ability to transfer the chi through the breath, through the body, is using the breath in concert with what we intend to do. What we intend to do in the movement. Right? So as I'm going to use push as my example right now, and then we're going to do our side to side, and we're going to do our circles, and we're going to practice form. Okay? Just, this is push. Alright? And I'm going to turn sideways. I want you to do this with me. Just do this with me. I want you to understand what we're doing. Don't pay attention to the breath. Don't pay attention to anything else. We just do the physical movement. Alright? So sink into the left. Step with the right heel. Both hands come back. And push. Now, we see this in the form here. Roll back, press, and push. Alright? So, we just step with the heel and push. So, go forward. Right? Extend the back leg, move into the front leg, transfer the weight, all of that. Okay. Now, we're going to do with the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift back, breathe in, and breathe out. One more time, shift back, sink into the left heel, push with the left heel, breathe out. Extend through the whole body. Okay? Now we're going to do it again. Alright? Sit on the left, just the physical part, put the heel down, and push forward. Okay? This time, I'm going to reverse the breathing. Do this with me. You need to feel it. This is wrong. Don't do this. What I just gave is correct. This is not. Okay? Shift back, breathe out. Push forward, breathe in. Do it again. Shift back, breathe out. Push forward, breathe in. It should feel very different. Okay? For me, I have to work at doing it wrong. I do. I have to work at that. But it's the best way that I have found to illustrate why to do something in a particular way. So, what to do? We need to connect the breath with the movement. And breathing and movement get connected together. Because that gives us the ability to circulate the chi, which gives us the ability to circulate the energy. And alright, and how do we connect the breath with the movement? Breathing in, breathing out, right? Some movements breathe in, some movements breathe out. I just showed you what the difference is when the timing for that breath is correct, and what happens when the timing is incorrect. Paying attention to how the body works, how the movement works, and how the breath is connected with it matters. Really does. Let's do our side to side. Feet a bit wider than shoulder width, hands here at the waist. You'll notice my left hand pretty much stayed here, so I'm good. I'm on my right side, you're on your left. Side to side, straight across, transfer the weight through the legs, not over, through. Push into the heel, open the hip. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Down, and come on up. Your circles. I'm going to get a sip of coffee, and then I'm going to talk just a second about this. Why do we go down and then up? As we move through this exercise, right? The goal of the exercise is to help open the hip and get it warmed up so that you can do more, right? When we stop, sink down a little bit more, we'll strengthen the hip so that as you're moving, you're not in a hurry to get back up here. This starts to get comfy, right? Sink a little bit more to stretch the lower back. Open the hips a little bit more. Little by little, we can move into a lower stance, right? And as long as you're able to move at this level, it's good, right? It's harder to work at that level. It is. Just a little bit wider than shoulder width. Let's do circles. Circle around the toe, back to the heel, come through the center, around the toe, around the heel, and back around. This is a figure 8. It's flat on the floor. Start, I'm going to be on my right, you're on your left. Knee does not go beyond the toe. Okay? It goes around the toe, not beyond the toe. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And down. Yeah, there we go. All right, good. And come on up. All right, relax. As we develop the skill to do these basic sets. Now I'm going to jump just real quick for a second. We take that skill, whatever that is, that transfer of weight, just side to side, that simple transfer of weight. We're going to take that and we put it into the figure 8 that we're doing. And then we take that skill and we put it into the form as we practice through the form. I've used brush knee as illustration for that extensively, right? So everything that we're doing in these basic exercises is something that we're going to continue to develop, not only through continuing these basic exercises, because it's fundamental to Tai Chi, but through the practice in the forms, right? That goes to the full form practice, it goes to push hands, it goes to weapons, sword, staff, spear. We have, yes. All right, and I did promise I was going to talk a little bit about that. So this idea that I'm going to use push again, just as an example, and I'm going to have you do it with me because we're working on this, and then we're going to do the full form, right? And then we're going to do a couple other things. All right, with push, right? We're here, right here in the form, right? Push, a little bit down, a little bit up, right? And it's not, I'm going to show you this. Don't ever. This is a dance move. This is not push. This is not push. That's a dance move. It's pretty. Somebody else can do it prettier than me. It's not push. Okay? Push has intent behind it. Push has energy behind it. Push has that martial art part of Tai Chi Chuan has, there's substance to it. And the connection with the breath, I'm going to use that she, who. She is breathe in, who is breathe out. She, who. Okay? Breathe in, breathe out. As I extend, everything's going. My intent is that whatever I am going to connect with is going away. It's going to go flying. Bye. Alright, that's my intent. Go. I'm directing my breath, exhale, downward into the leg, through the middle dantian, the lower dantian, to extend outward. If I'm fluttering, right? This it looks pretty. It might frighten a butterfly, but if you're thinking about doing anything else, it's not. It's not what we're doing. It's not. All right. So, set the back foot. Breathe in. Sink into both the legs. Pull everything in as you set back. Exhale. Do it with me. Right foot front. Breathe in. Arms open. Sink into your back leg. Sink into the left leg. Push through the legs. Exhale. One more time. Set back. Push. That extension of the breath takes the energy with it and helps the opponent to go away. It does. that combination of what am I doing in the movement? What's the move itself? How do I do this movement? What are the principles behind this movement? What is the application, or what are the types of applications? Pump, push, can be here, can be here. I can use my leg for pump. It's a method that is part of how we practice Tai Chi. Why do we want to connect the breath and the movement in a particular way? Because it helps us transfer the energy through the movement. If we reverse it, if we're not well coordinated, the movement loses part of its intent. It loses its center. It loses its purpose, right? And the movement without purpose is fluttering. It's waving your hands around. All of the Tai Chi that I teach, everything that I teach has a purpose behind it. There's something that we're doing here other than waving our hands around. So this is part of why I'm giving this instruction, this idea that there's something behind the movement. Lots of folks go out and learn some movement. They don't know. Somebody didn't teach them. They didn't stick around long enough to learn it, whatever it was. They don't know that there is this idea behind that we need to pay attention to. So their movement looks empty. There's nothing there. Almost as bad as the rigid, it must be this way every time, because Tai Chi doesn't work that way either. Okay? It's simple and it's complicated, right? With this idea of application, I want to emphasize, we do not think about, I am going to do this thing to this other person every time we practice. It's something we can't lose sight of. It's also something that we don't want to cultivate, right? And I'm going to say this a couple of different ways here, because understanding what the applications are, knowing what you can do with this set of moves or that set of moves, is essential to correct practice. Correct practice involves much more than just whatever it is happening with the opponent. Because if that's all you're paying attention to, you're not learning what you need to learn for yourself. So the idea of, I'm practicing, what am I doing in my practice? Where is my foot position? Where is my body position? What's going on with me today? All right? What's happening today? What do I need to deal with today? That part of your practice, that's so much more important than anything over here with you tossing people around and being able to do that. Because if you're going to keep your practice, it's never going to be about somebody else. It's always going to be about you. What do you like to do? That you'll keep doing. If you don't like it, you won't do it. Let's practice form. Feet together, and yeah, my arm is bothering me a little bit, but it'll be alright. Feet together, stand straight, pull up through the crown of the head, bend the knees, wiggle the fingers, smile, salute, breathe in, keep the movement light, focus on the breath, breathe out. Keep the shape of the movement. Keep substance. And don't lose sight of what the possibilities are. What is the energy that you're using? Ward off, pull down here. Twist, pull down. It's not a movement. Shift back, open, push, palm, open, close, open, close, open, close. How does the breath extend through the movement? Whether you're inhaling or exhaling, the breath extends. Relax. Alright, so I was paying attention to what I was doing. Let me sip of coffee. Alright. Alright, so go one more time with this idea of how we coordinate the breath and the movement. Why we do it, right? It's to be able to extend. I did this with push. We're going to do this again. And I'm going to use deflect, downward, parry, and punch. Okay? And just a little bit more space than I have over there at the end there. Alright, so from brush knee, shift back, deflect downward, parry, and punch. Alright. This sequence makes absolutely no sense if you breathe in when you punch. Try it with me. Try it with me. We're just going to punch. Left foot front. Right hand back here at your waist. Left hand reach out. As the right hand extends, breathe in. So, breathe out. Breathe in. Do it again. Breathe out. Breathe in. Let's try correct. As we sit back, Breathe in as we extend out. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah? We breathe out. Extend that breath through the body. That means that as we come out, I'm using punch here, as we come out, this is not stiff. If this is stiff, if you're holding your fist tight as your hand comes out, there's no connection between your shoulder and your fist. You're stopping everything right here. Don't do that. The fist becomes solid at the very end, not at the beginning. Extend. Now. Right? That I've talked about I talked about this all the time. Through the whole body. So as I extend the energy from the lower Tantian and it comes out through the shoulder and it extends out through the arm, it's extended from here. That's connected. It remains connected. How is it connected? Well, there's the physiological piece of which muscles are connected to which muscles control which muscles, and how my arm actually works, right? The mechanics, body mechanics, right? There is the idea that the breath extends through the whole body, which means that it has to come from and extend out through. Shi Ho. Right? Now, I might do that a little more quickly to achieve a little more impact. But as a rule, in normal practice, I want to draw it out. I want that full and complete, unbroken string. We talk about Tai Chi being unbroken, like pulling a thread from a cocoon. Okay, so it's pulling a silk thread. I've never done that. I have tried to pull a thread out of a piece of cloth. If you pull too hard, it'll snap. If you don't pull hard enough, it won't come out. We want the same kind of thing with all of our movements in Tai Chi. That continuous thread. Nothing snaps, nothing's hard, nothing's too little so that there's no energy there, and it's not too much so that there's that snap. Now, having said that, there are times when we do want that snap and we use it. Alright, this is application. Alright, this is the idea that there is a need to do something. What are my options? What's available? I have lots of options. There's 108 moves in form. I've got lots of options, and I have more forms. I have lots of options for what I can do. All right? We look at that kind of thing in our movements in the context of our fundamentals. Pang, Lu, Ji, An, ward off, roll back, press, and push. These are the 4 directions in Tai Chi. These are fundamentals. I'm here. Deflect downward is also roll back. Yes, right? I have something specific that I'm doing here. Grab and block downward. Deflect downward. Huh? Right? As I come around, parry. Again, I have something that's very specific. I also have, in this move, ward off. I also have pull down. Ward off, pull down. Now, not my initial intent with this particular move, but the energy is there. If I switched in an instant, I could. If I wanted to switch in an instant, I could. Deflect downward. Ward off. Pull down. Deflect downward. Pull down. Deflect downward. Right? Same thing here. As I open, we got a little bit the same kind of sense as we have with single whip. Right? Single whip, I'm here. Open. What's his hand doing here? I'm pretty sure most of you already figured out what this hand is doing. It's really obvious in this particular move. There's not a lot of secret behind that one. All right, punch is punch. Now, behind it, I have talked about this idea of deflect downward, having Pong energy. Punch can have either ward off or push as the energy behind. I don't know that I'd use press, but yeah, I might. My intent is, if I'm going with this, it's going to be to remove it in a minute. It's not going to be to leave it there and hold on. My other hand, however, left hand not working so good today, but it's going to do it for this. All right, as my hands separate, this is coming up and under right here. Step in, come from under, high, come to me, punch. I'm a little bit high, but I'm short, so there's that. This hand is reaching out. Come here. This one wants to hold on. You want to take my hand? Go ahead. Go ahead. Please take my hand. Because this one is the one you should be paying attention to back here. So, you can take this one. I use this one. Right? Deflect downward, parry, and punch. Step in, come from under. Let's do this 3 times. Go across here. Pay attention to, more complicated this time. Pay attention to the breath. That you make sure that as you are extending the arm, you're extending the breath. Try to keep very close connection to the fist that's extending and the back heel, so that that fine thread that I was talking about extends through the entire body, from the heel through the fist. There's upward and downward, and there's across and out. Okay? So, that direction of force, up and down, across and out. Okay? Shift back. Fresh knee. Shift. Deflect downward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again. On the right. Fresh knee. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Step. Shift. Down. Step through. All right. The more you focus on connecting the breath, the easier it becomes to extend the breath through the body. I remember when I first got started, and I remember getting it wrong, and I remember that took me a little bit to work it out. Right? I had to be much more observant. I had to develop some skills to be able to see how someone else was breathing. It's a skill. I will tell you again, dance training. Anybody that's had any formal dance training can see how another person is breathing. You can tell. It's a learned skill. We develop it. It's part of the art. We look for the same kinds of things in our Tai Chi practice. Is the breath well coordinated with the movement? Is the movement well coordinated with itself? Right? Is there discord? Is the person off balance? Is there some issue with how the person is moving? And I talk about this a lot with the knees and hips and my elbow today, right? Anybody who knows anything would see me in person today. I would not have to tell them that I'm having a problem with my elbow. They would see it. It would take about that long. Right? So it's there. All right, this is a skill. We learn this skill as part of our own practice, our personal practice. This is what we do with what we're trying to learn. This is how we build our skill. We can apply that skill to an application if we need to. And we can't lose sight that there's an application that's underlying everything we do. And again, I'm not talking about a put this foot here, put this hand here, do this, do that kind of application. We work on a different level here. All right, this is Peng, Lu, Ji, An, Sai, Lia, Zhou, Ko. Entering, leaving, left, right, and center. The 13 postures of Tai Chi. That's what I'm talking about. As we pay more attention to those fundamentals, we gain the insight to see, oh wait, yeah, she's doing something with her arm today. She's not moving it. What's going on? Right? We start to be able to see that. We can see how a person breathes, and we start to be able to see fine movement. I just moved my hand. Did it again. One more time. See it? I don't think so. But I did. If you were here and standing with me, or you blow me up on a giant screen, you might be able to see it. Right? It's part of the skill that we look for, that we want to develop in Tai Chi, those fine movements. Together with the breath, together with the intent, together with the energy, all of it put together. Let's do deflect, downward, parry, and punch 3 more times, and then I'm going to end up for today. Alright? Take this idea of this combination of how we want to bring all of the things that we're working on, the intent, the movement, the breath, all of that. Keep that in mind. Big picture. Smile. On the right. Brush knee, step left. Shift back. Stay down. Don't come up. Transfer the weight through the legs. And punch. As you punch, extend the back leg. One more. Brush knee. Deflect downward. Parry. And punch. Last time. Brush knee. Deflect downward. Parry. And punch. Alright, relax. Bringing everything together takes time. It takes practice. It's me trying to play the left hand over here on the piano. I'm still working on that. It's not an overnight thing. Time and fundamentals. If you work on your fundamentals, what I talked about here is fundamentals, right? We're here, brush knee, shift back, step through, and punch, right? Right here, side to side, shift, step through, right? It really does connect. I appreciate you being here this morning. I'm hopeful that my elbow is going to be better tomorrow. I'm going to be back with Wudang's 3 methods and Xingyi. Thursday and Friday, Qigong. And I'll be back next week with Tai Chi. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.